Hello and welcome to another Blu-ray update video, but this is going to be a very special Blu-ray update video, and this is going to be my Barnes & Noble 50% off Criterion sale haul video for July of 2019. Not a mouthful at all. I'm going to have to sort out that as a title of the video and condense it somehow. Anyway, I just couldn't help myself. I needed to get something from the Barnes & Noble 50% off Criterion sale this July, which has just passed. It's now August of 2019. And so I did fly over to America, went to Barnes & Noble, picked up a few Blu-rays and headed right back home. It's a bit of an extravagance, but I needed those 50% off titles. So I went to Barnes & Noble. I got a couple of things here and I'm going to show them to you right now. Before I do though, I did of course order online the Ingmar Bergman's cinema set. So just for the sake of, I don't know, just including it again and just going, wow, look at this incredible box set, how gorgeous and beautiful is it? This was part of my Barnes & Noble 50% off sale haul, but I've done a separate video on that and you can check that out. I still haven't dived into any of the movies, but I'm in no rush to, and I love just looking at it and going, that is a piece. That is a piece of the collection for sure. So actually it was a friend of mine, Quack, who went and grabbed a few Blu-rays for me from the Barnes & Noble sale. One thing before I get to the Blu-rays, I think we get a little bit caught up with the Barnes & Noble thing because 50% off, the Criterions on the Barnes & Noble store is 50% off the RRP, the recommended retail price or suggested retail price, if you want to call it the SRP. So really what you're getting is a Criterion Blu-ray for $20, like a standard title. Obviously, certain box sets are pricier and things like that. And on Amazon, like the base price for those titles is like $23. So you're really not saving that much money when the Barnes & Noble sale rolls around. And especially when it comes to international people and you talk about customs and shipping and so on and so forth. It really doesn't work out that much cheaper. Unless you get something big like the Bergman set or other box sets and things like that. But there's just something about it, I don't know. And I feel like $20, 17, 18 pounds is a pretty good price for a Criterion. And it also kind of brings the community together a little bit, I think. What you're going to get, like the sales on and all that kind of stuff. There's just something fun about it, I don't know. So I kind of enjoy the Barnes & Noble Criterion seasons. I think we get them twice a year, so... Anyway, it might be 3 times a year actually. At least 2 times a year we get the Barnes & Noble sale. So I have 3 here that Quack very kindly picked up for me. I did have a list of 6 that I wanted, and I want to thank CP, Karate Popcorn. I think Ryan Chataway looked for me as well. I asked a few of my friends in America to check their local Barnes & Noble to get me the titles that I wanted. No one could find any of them. Moonrise Kingdom was a big one to complete my Wes Anderson collection. Can't find it anywhere. And the reason I sort of ask people to get them for me in store is so that I can guarantee that a digipack will be in good condition. Otherwise, if it's just like a random kind of plastic case, I can order it online and not really worry about the damage in transit. And the other one was the new release of David Lynch's Blue Velvet, which just... it seems to be sold out pretty much everywhere. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to get that one, and I'm probably going to wait on it a little bit, I think. The existing Blu-ray I have for it is pretty damn good anyway, so it is what it is. But I really want that Criterion Blue Velvet release. And the other one was also Hitchcock's Notorious. But the other three that I did want are right here in this bag. So I'm going to open it up, take them out, and not show you what they are. Because I thought I would also add to this video 2 Criterions that I got from the UK. These are UK Criterions that were both essentially half price as far as the UK prices are concerned. That was, I think, a motorbike going past the street. So yeah, these were both £10 each. Usually they're £18 each. So I thought these are pretty much 50% off and I would include them in the video and show you what I got. So the first one was from Zoom and it is Midnight Cowboy. You can't see the cover at all there because of the glare. There we go. Kind of difficult. Let's see if this is... there we go. That's kind of better. So, Midnight Cowboy is a film that I have seen. And I've seen... I've seen more films in this 5 stack of Blu-rays than I haven't. Which is fairly unusual for me. But anyway, I have seen this film. And I watched it many years ago. Reviewed it for the original Epic Film Challenge, actually. I say reviewed. I made like a 1-minute vlog saying, hey, I watched this film, it was a little bit weird, I kind of liked it. And I recently got a comment on that video saying like, this is an awful review, like just slating me for it. And I was like, well, that was many, many years ago, like 7 years ago. Also, it's not really a review. And I'm sure I'd have a lot more interesting things to say about it now. So I will be re-reviewing this for the Epic Film Challenge 2, the 1001 Movies Challenge. But this is like a loaded release, a new 4K digital restoration. Of course, we have Dustin Hoffman and Jon Voight in very early roles, and this was, I think, the first like X-rated film or R-rated film to win an Oscar. So it was a fairly groundbreaking film for the time. It's a very gritty film. Jon Voight's character, and it's been many years since I saw it, but he comes into New York, I'm fairly certain, and kind of ends up kind of buddying up with Dustin Hoffman's character, and it's just a very grimy, kind of raw, gritty film. And a really good, kind of drama from my memory. So I'm really looking forward to watching it again in much better quality. I think I watched it on DVD the first time, for example. But yeah, this has a new video essay. It has audio commentary from the director, John Schlesinger, if that's how you pronounce his name, and also the producer, Jerome Hellman. So yeah, there's a couple of documentaries, 2 short documentaries from the making of the film and the release of the film, an interview with Jon Voight. So yeah, Jon Voight's original screen test, that's really interesting. Yeah, this is absolutely packed. So yeah, a really cool film that I look forward to revisiting and no doubt appreciating on a much better level than I did when I first saw it. The next one I got from HMV the other day, it was on sale for $9.99. It is The Awful Truth with Cary Grant and who is his leading lady, Irene Dunne. This is a Leo McCarey film from 1937. I actually was chatting to the guy at HMV about Cary Grant movies, which is really cool. He hadn't seen Bringing Up Baby, which was crazy to me. But I hope that's the one I really hope that Criterion end up releasing is Bringing Up Baby, because that is such a brilliant film. You just feel exhausted with the dialogue in that film. So I haven't seen this one, The Awful Truth, but I do like Cary Grant quite a bit. Certainly no expert, but I love films like Bringing Up Baby, His Girl Friday, and also Only Angels Have Wings. So this just seemed like a no-brainer for me, £10. There's a couple of special features on here, kind of interview with the critic, a video essay by a critic, and so on. And one thing they tend to do on these Criterion releases of kind of 30s and 40s movies is include the radio adaptations, the Lux Radio Theatre adaptation of the film from 1939. Also starring Cary Grant, obviously reprising his role, and also Claudette Colbert. That's really interesting. Anyway, 4K digital restoration. Apparently it looks really good. I'm looking forward to watching it at some point in the future. So, the legitimate kind of full-bore, actual Barnes & Noble procured Criterions. So the first one is the one I haven't seen yet. And this was actually $15, I think, because this is like one of the low-rent Criterion titles that is only like, I think it goes for like $15 or something like that on Amazon anyway. But I really wanted to check it out fairly soon, and so Quack grabbed it for me. David Lynch, The Art Life. So this is a 2016, I believe, documentary about David Lynch, a rare glimpse into the mind of one of cinema's most enigmatic visionaries. David Lynch, The Art Life, offers an absorbing portrait of the artist as well as an intimate encounter with the man himself. The only thing I really know about this is that when this was made and released, you could see a quick glimpse of one of the things he was writing for Twin Peaks: The Return, and people were like freeze framing it and trying to figure out any spoilers that were in there. But this is like an 88-minute documentary. There's an interview with the co-director. That's really it. Now, when I was thinking about this, because it's probably about a month ago when I asked Quack to pick it up for me, I really wanted to dive into David Lynch a little bit more. And I have been doing that with my Lynch Fest series on my channel for this year. 2019 as a whole has kind of dubbed Lynch Fest, I think. I've been doing a significant number of videos, some of which I haven't even released yet, about David Lynch's films. There's other things to go up as well, and I have listened to his like 15, 16-hour memoir, Room to Dream. So now that I've kind of done a bit of a deep dive on Lynch, and I've picked up a few books and things, and heard about his life extensively from the man himself, I kind of feel like this isn't going to really offer me too much. It's kind of going to really be kind of retreading things I already know, kind of stories I already know, parts of his process that I already know. But at the same time, I still think I'm going to enjoy it. I love David Lynch. I've become such a huge fan of him this year, more so than I have been in the past. So, it's a nice one to have in the collection and to add to the David Lynch collection as well. So hopefully it's a pretty enjoyable watch. This is where it gets really cool for me, because these are two films that I absolutely adore. These are two, I'd probably put these two films like in my maybe top 100 favorites, I think. I love these films so much. Where to start with these two? So the first one I'll go with is a silent film from 1927. Such a surprise. I remember watching this and falling in love with it. I watched it because it was in the 1001 Movies book, and I think Connie was away at the time. We were living in Norway. Loved the film, and when she came home I said, you've got to see this film with me. So I sat her down and made her watch it. So I watched it like twice in the span of a day, which for me is very, very rare. I've done it a few times with films like Dog Day Afternoon and The Sting, which are films I've just been blown away by, and I have to show it to Connie immediately. And this is one of them. Not that I think this is as good as Dog Day Afternoon or The Sting, but it is just a wonderful film called The Kid Brother. I was so excited when I heard that Criterion were announcing this and releasing it this year. I think it was this year that it came out, yes, 2019. It's just, I really love Harold Lloyd, but there's something about this film that I think is underrated in terms of his filmography. People tend to go to, Safety Last, and even, what's that other one that's Speedy is one, which is another great film. I'll try and open this case up so you can kind of see it without too much glare, but oh man, I love this film. And he plays, it's been a few years since I've seen the film to kind of go into the plot, but it's it's a typical Harold Lloyd kind of comedy movie, but he plays this guy who is like the youngest brother on a farm where, all the men are kind of big and burly and stuff, and he's kind of the odd one out and everything. And it's just, there's romance, there's action. The third act of this film is incredible. There's a fight scene on a pirate ship that is just phenomenal, and then it turns into this wild chase, and it's just so thrilling and funny and wonderful. One of my favorite parts is when he's kind of being all cute with this girl that he likes, and she walks off, and he kind of climbs up a tree and says, hey, and waves to her, and she turns around, and he's like, I'll see you later, or something like that. And then as she gets further away in the distance, he climbs up the tree again, and the camera is like going up and up, following him. And it's like a cute kind of rule of threes kind of comedy gag, but it looked great, and it puts a smile on your face, this film. I absolutely love it. So this has a new 4K digital restoration, which I can't wait to see. 2 scores, one from Carl Davis, which you can always rely on Carl Davis, and another one from Gaylord Carter, again another guy who's done some pretty damn good silent film scores over the years. It's an audio commentary from 2005 featuring the filmmaker and Harold Lloyd archivist Richard Carell, and also Harold Lloyd's granddaughter Suzanne Lloyd. New conversation about Harold's leading ladies, new video essay, behind-the-scenes stills gallery, a new video essay again on the shooting locations, a Dutch television interview with Harold Lloyd himself from 1962, a featurette about Harold Lloyd's estate hosted by his granddaughter, 2 restored rare shorts from Harold Lloyd, Over the Fence from 1917, and That's Him from 1918, and a new tour of the Wurlitzer organ with composer Nathan Barr and organist Mark Herman. They've absolutely jam-packed this release, and I couldn't be happier about it. I can't wait to. That's interesting. Huh. I don't know if this is... have they put this the wrong way around? So, okay, let me just flip that around a second and see. I think they put the inlay in the wrong way around, because you open up the case, and the disc is on the wrong side. And then this was upside down as well. So I think they've kind of jumbled that up somewhere. So I'll need to flip it around on the case. Let's actually see if the... I don't know actually if this is... Yes, this is upside down. Okay, so they put it in the wrong way, but that's okay. I can kind of flip it around. But yeah, we've got a small but kind of nice booklet there. And I love the cover artwork as well. They did a brilliant job. Like, it's just so well done. It looks like the lighting of putting the title on the floorboards underneath his feet is just perfectly done, I think. Anyway, finally we have another one of my favorite films, probably more so than The Kid Brother, to be completely honest, and it goes into adding on to my Richard Linklater collection. It is Dazed and Confused, which I now realize has a UK release. But this worked out far cheaper because the UK releases of digipacks are really expensive in the UK, so this was definitely cheaper. But I didn't realize that this has like the slipcase has loads of circular holes in it that actually go inside. So there's like little windows into like characters and stuff. So it's a really nice effect on the slipcover. Director approved by Richard Linklater. Let's open this as well. I love this film. This is set. Is it set in the 70s or the 80s? I think no, because Everybody Wants Some was set in the 80s. So I think this is set in this America 1976, the last day of school. So this is like a bunch of school kids on the last day of school, and you just follow them over that one night, going out and partying and celebrating. And it's mostly the older generation of kids, but then you get like some of the younger kids who are about to join high school, I think, or something like that. I don't quite know the ins and outs of like grades and high school and college with, you know, American teenagers, but you get the younger kids who kind of end up mixing in, especially one kid in particular mixes in with the older kids, and it's just this window into another world of adolescence. And it's just a hangout movie, you know. There's not too much to it, but it does have like a kind of cool message at the same time, especially delivered by Matthew McConaughey's character. So you get a lot of like actors who went on to become a lot bigger than they were at the time of this film's release, like Ben Affleck and Mila Jovovich is in this, and of course Matthew McConaughey. So that's cool to see those actors younger, like before their careers really took off. But it's so natural, it's so fun, it's just, the soundtrack is great. It's one of Linklater's best films, I think. So you can see the kind of the case in better detail there, I think. Really, really nice. So as I take this out, I think that it is a digipack inside, and you'll probably be able to see the holes of the yeah, see, that's just really cool. I like that a lot. That's a really nice detail. Oh, and there's actually like a print on the inside, so you can still see the Criterion logo and other things. That's really cool. That's a fantastic piece of packaging design. So there's the inside there. And the main reason I wanted this was the extras, actually, because they've put so many extras into this release, and the booklet is incredibly thick. I think is this a poster? Yeah, this is just a really, wow, okay. What is this? Wow, cool. This is like a very cool kind of poster. I like that a lot. The booklet is super thick, and it looks like a kind of a school notepad or something. You know, there's a nice effect to that. Man, this is loaded with stuff. That's awesome. That is so cool. And the design of it is just so pitch perfect to what the film is and the feel of the 70s and stuff. You got like profiles on the kids and stuff, like Randall Floyd, nicknamed Pink, and all that kind of stuff, like a yearbook. Awesome, just brilliant. So then, of course, we have the movie itself. Yeah, I absolutely love the design of this Blu-ray. It's incredible. And so the special features, this is the 35th anniversary of the bicentennial. Okay, they're talking about the 1970s. I was going to say the 35th anniversary of this. Director-approved Blu-ray special edition. High definition digital transfer of the director's cut. I don't know anything about there being a director's cut of this film. I wonder what that means precisely. There's an audio commentary with Linklater, which I have heard and listened to, and it's really, really good. He talks about like the struggle and stress of making a studio movie for the first time. There is a 50-minute documentary on the making of the film, rare on-set interviews, behind-the-scenes footage from the 10-year anniversary celebration, deleted scenes, an original theatrical trailer, and audition footage. Now, that almost kind of undersells it, I think, because I read online that there is like just so much audition material and footage, and also kind of on-set interviews at the time of the making of the film. So, yeah, this is just awesome. So, yeah, that's all I got to say about it. I can't wait to revisit this film at some point. I don't know if Connie has seen it yet. That'd be great to introduce it to her if she hasn't seen it already. But yeah, though I'm so happy that I didn't realize how cool the packaging was on the inside. So yeah, I'm really made up over this. So Dazed and Confused, phenomenal film. Absolutely love everything about it. And that is my Barnes & Noble 50% off Criterion sale haul. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know if you got anything in the sale or any Criterions in general. Let's talk some Criterion stuff. And otherwise, I'll see you in the next one.
It's alright by me. Apart from the fact he throws cans and calling into a tree. Yeah, he's really cool. Yeah, he's really cool. But he's not quite as cool as you.